guys, Nyxarity here, and welcome to My Thought Mondays. I want to start off by saying, sorry there wasn't one last week. I got really busy, and life got in the way, and I didn't really have a lot of thoughts for Monday last week. Oh well. I would also like to start off by saying that if anybody has any aversion to anything depression, this is a trigger warning, okay? I don't know how bad of a trigger warning it needs to be, because I don't know where I'm going with this yet, but it's there, okay? I'm talking about depression today. So, I'm going to start off by telling you guys I suffer from seasonal depression, and it sucks, because it means that on some days, I really don't want to get out of bed because I work nights, so I very rarely see sunlight in the wintertime. So I don't get any of that vitamin D in that I need to keep me kind of up and happy like a normal person. So of course I do take vitamin supplements to keep that in my system, but of course it's nothing compared to actual sunlight and getting that, seeping in through your skin and just being active through the day. So, when it's raining, like it does here in Washington, every other 5 minutes, sometimes it feels like that, it gets even worse. I wanted to share with you guys what I kind of do to keep that seasonal depression from keeping me just bogged down. And, because there are totally days where I don't want to get out of bed and I don't want to go to work. Well, I don't really want to go to work a whole lot of any days, but that's a different story. That's just an adult not wanting to go to work like every other adult. But, keeping me up and getting me to do videos. And honestly, being able to get up and do videos is a big part of what keeps me going on a normal basis. Because making videos for you guys is fun. And I get to play video games, and it is an excuse for me and as an adult to play video games, which is fantastic. The other things that I do, of course, are I take vitamins, and, when I can, on the weekends, that I don't have to be, up until a certain, point in the day, so that I'm tired as all hell going through my day, is on my weekends, like Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, I'll get up, and be up during the day. I'll go out and I'll have fun. That was a big part of why I started LARPing, was to be able to get out of the house and to go have some fun and to be active and to enjoy some sunlight. Unfortunately, the last couple of LARP events I've been to have been pouring down rain. Yay, Washington. But yeah, so that's how I combat my seasonal depression. Friends are awesome to have. They'll kick you in the butt and tell you need to get your butt out of the house, get going, do something. Which brings me to my next topic, which is Eris and I decided that, we can't really find a LARP in our area that was kind of described as what we wanted, and honestly what we wanted was a Pathfinder campaign where we just got to live it instead of rolling dice, so we decided we were going to try and start our own LARP. So we're working on that right now, which has done amazing things to my seasonal depression. I haven't felt like I can't get out of bed the last few days, because we just decided this last week. I didn't want to share that with you guys because we decided it like 2 minutes before I should have started recording, and so we went and we did a bunch of research instead of me recording on My Thought Mondays, and then I had work and blah blah blah. But anyway, so we've got plenty of parks in our area. Thank you, Seattle, for that one. As much rain as you want to give us, at least we've got parks up the yazoo. No campout grounds though. We can't find those. I have to go farther away. Oh well. Maybe to a mountain or something. Got plenty of those in Washington too. Yeah. And so we've got a couple of different parks that we're looking at, and if we can get enough people together, we might even start doing a mini LARP series, just kind of based off of what we've put together to create as a storyline base. If you guys have watched LARPs the series, like one of my other videos suggested, I'll put another link to that in this video, because that is one you should definitely watch anyway. But if we had the ability to do something on the level of that series, we so totally would. Fortunately, none of us are anywhere near good enough with weapons. Well, most of that's staged anyway, so maybe we could be better, because I've been mildly trained in stage combat. So, I just don't know how to choreograph anything. But anyway, so there is that fun bit of information. I don't know if I've given you guys any updates on what I'm doing to go to Beekleen yet, but I am like a third of the way saved for the trip, and it's only March. So I spent like 2.5 months saving that third. So another 5 months later and I should be good, which means I'm booked for next year. Not this year. Can't afford it this year. Can't get plane ticket and stuff, and no, not gonna happen. But yeah, I don't know if I've given you guys any updates. There will be a vlog series later. I'm trying to contact Momo, as busy as that poor young woman is, to see if she's okay with me using her titled Voyage North vlogs, or if she would prefer that I not use that. I do have a backup if she would prefer that I don't use that, but I would much prefer the Voyage North vlogs just because it sounds cool. But anyway, I want to be respectful of other YouTubers, because that's a very important thing with all of the crap that is going on with YouTube and fair use right now. So, you know, this turned into a promotional. Don't be an asshole to other YouTubers. Oh well. But yeah. I haven't had as much problems as other YouTubers have made videos about, I'm sure. I have had a couple of mishaps here and there with some of my game videos, but I think that game videos are a little bit safer just because they're games, and it's free advertisement for a lot of games and game companies to have people put Let's Plays out there. And everything else that I do is vlogs. So if I had a problem with that, I'd be more than irate and you'd know about it. But yeah, I'm definitely here to support anybody who's had problems with that, and if I've got problems with that in the future, then, you know, we'll deal with it when I come to it. But I guess this is where I put in hashtag where's the fair use. It's a very mild vlog compared to every other one I've watched. But one more thing I wanted to talk to you guys about today is something that I recently had an encounter with. I do suffer from anxiety, but it's not nearly enough for, you know, anyone to really notice, and I don't feel like, I feel bad putting out there that I do suffer from anxiety, because I've got people in my family and my friends that suffer from it so much worse than I do. I'm very functional with my anxiety. It's very mild social anxiety usually. You know, I get minor panic attacks that happen that I just kind of feel like I've got a, what do you call it? Like compression in my chest. And it kind of sucks, but I mean, I've got asthma. I've dealt with much worse. But I did realize that I just had my grandma over, and I noticed that with my grandma over, for some reason, it was a little bit worse, which is strange because I always thought that it was social anxiety, not just a blanket of anxiety. But I found out that I love my grandma. I want to say that. I love my grandma to pieces. because she's my grandma, and without her, my mother wouldn't exist, and therefore I would not exist. But she's kind of turning into that little old lady that, that is like, you're young and you don't know what you're talking about, you haven't seen the world and you don't know anything, and I'm like, well, I don't know a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna say that I have ignorant batches where I don't know things about stuff, but Grandma, come on. I've been driving for, you know, like 6 years, or over 6 years, I don't even know how. I had the other day where I didn't even know how old I was, okay, give me a break, numbers are not my strongest suit. But it was like, I've been driving a car for at least 6 years, and I needed to jump on my car because my battery died. Apparently my trunk was open. I didn't notice. I don't know. I had a kind of crappy car. It happens. But, anyway, so I was calling my insurance, because I've got free roadside service, to get a jump, and she's going, do you know that you attach the positive to the positive, the negative to the negative? And I was like, yeah? Isn't that basic jumpstart information? And she's like, well, if you're so smart, which car do you detach first? I'm like, I've always detached it from the one you're jumping. That's how I was taught in driver's ed. That's how I've always done it when I've got those little battery cells, although the battery cells you can't exactly detach from the battery cells. That's a different story. But anyway, that's how I was taught by everybody but my grandma. My mom's done it too, so, you know. And always don't cross your wires. Don't ever cross your wires. Please don't. I want you guys to be safe if you're jumping a car and you've never done it before. Don't you ever cross. No, don't do it. Anyway. But anyway, so of course she, you know, says this super condescending, and I'm like, well, you know what? Fine, whatever. I'll give you like 2 seconds while I'm trying to figure out this thing, and then I'm leaving. And she goes, no, that's not how you do it. You need to learn correct information. I'm like, what? Excuse you? I'm sorry, that's the way that I learned it. But, you can calm down on the attitude there, Grandma. Just because you've learned a different information doesn't mean it's right. I mean, hell, what was it, 10 years ago? They were telling you that to stop a bloody nose, you had to lean your head back. Obviously, to clot a bloody nose, you want to lean forward. You know. It's like information changes. And, you know, I don't know everything about the world. I am more than happy to admit that, because there are lots of things I would like to learn. You know? But when she gets super condescending like that, it just, like, freaks my anxiety out, I guess. Not to mention the fact that she doesn't do it to my sister. And it's just me. I don't know what it is. Maybe I remind her of my aunt that's like 50 years old and still living with her. That's for mental issues, mostly. So, don't send a bunch of hate my aunt's way, okay? That's not nice. Don't do that. But it's one of those, like, in today's society, we've come to a point where if you've gone to college and you're not making enough money to be able to pay off your loans, you're still living with your parents. In a lot of other cultures, that's not a bad thing. Because a lot of cultures, you live with your parents until your parents can't support themselves, and then you support your parents. It's a good thing in a lot of other cultures. For some reason, in American culture, it is frowned upon, and you are a social reject, and can't get a job, and you're a bum, and you can't do anything. And I think that's kind of the mindset that she's stuck in. Which is fantastic, because every time she comes over, she's going, so why aren't you helping your mother with rent? And I'm like, this bill, 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 this bill. If I could, I would. Trust me. Then, of course, she's going, well, you're saving for this thing. I'm sorry, I'm an adult. Am I not allowed to save a little bit of money out of all of my paychecks? Like, that probably actually should be going into a retirement fund, because there's no way in hell I'm going to get a retirement fund making $13 an hour right now. But anyway. So, of course, you know, that happens, but I feel like she almost forgets that my sister is an adult now, technically. I mean, she turns 19 in, I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know. The end of the month. She turns 19 at the end of the month. which means that she's been officially considered an adult by most of society-ish. You know, 18 is when you're considered to be able to support yourself. You know, you're supposed to have a job, you're supposed to have outlooks for college, one or the other, or both. And you're supposed to be able to go stand on your own 2 feet out there in the world without your parents. She's been at that for almost a year now. And my grandma hasn't once said anything to her about helping out with rent. So I feel a little singled out for kind of no reason. Like, yes, obviously I've been doing this longer. But that has also given me the opportunity to become more in debt. Because college is expensive. And when you can't get the government to help you pay for everything, yeah. But anyway, as much as, you know, that sucks, I know that she's just trying to look out for my family, which is sweet, but she goes about it in a way that makes my anxiety flare up. And, you know, if it weren't for all of my LARP and my friends and recording videos for you guys, it would send my seasonal depression into a spiral. It would be very bad. You know, if she comes around during the summer, it's not as bad, because, you know, I've got so much sun in my system that I'm just, like, the happiest person on drugs, almost. But, yeah. So, sorry this vlog wasn't super happy. I hope it was at least informative. It allowed me to get off my chest a little bit about what I'm dealing with personally. Even if nobody watches it, it's just nice to be able to get it out there for someone else, you know? And if it helps one person, I've done what I've accomplished. You know, relate to someone. Help them find a way to break through their depression. Help them understand what's triggering their anxiety even. You know, because the first step in helping treat your anxiety is finding out what triggers it. Because if you find out what triggers it, you can make ways to avoid it, or you can have a plan in place to help calm yourself down afterwards when it's happened. So that's always nice. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, go ahead and leave a like. Leave a comment down below if you've got ways that you would battle your anxiety or depression that you'd like to share. Maybe I'll make another video about anxiety and depression with your guys' suggestions, and we can share them with the world. Thanks again, guys. Go ahead and subscribe for more great content. This is Nyxarity signing off. See you guys next time. Bye.